Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage. Today I am prepping a 2023 Elantra Preferred trim. This beautiful Elantra Preferred trim is being delivered today, and I want to make sure that it's all prepped and ready to go for the client. So there's a bit of a procedure that we go over. Now, obviously, there's some paperwork and whatnot as well, which I'll get to at the end. But for now, I just want to show you how we set the car up so that when the customer sees it the first time, it looks really good. And then, of course, we're going to go over all of the features of the vehicle with the customer as well. So first things first, of course, it needs to be detailed. Now, that's already been done. We've already had it in the detail bay. It's all cleaned up. All the plastic's been removed. Now, on one of my recent videos, somebody had asked why we take all the plastic off, because when they buy something in the store, they got to unbox it themselves, etc., etc. We can't actually do a proper pre-delivery inspection of the vehicle if it's still covered in plastic. So that's why the plastic gets removed. We do leave some plastic on for the customer to peel off. We always generally leave that on the infotainment screen, which we have done on this one as well. So just to give the customer that feeling of, unpacking their own vehicle. And if they do request that we leave all the plastic on, we can do that as well. However, most of the time these vehicles are already unpacked long before they're sold. So if it's a factory order, that's a different story. We have the opportunity to show the client with that plastic on there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Most people don't care. But yeah, let's start with the outside of the vehicle. So I've actually gone around, had a look. It looks really clean. The detailer did a good job cleaning it all up. And this one's got some accessories on it, so those are installed already as well. And of course, that's one of the things I want to make sure is that all the accessories are put on, like the mud guards and wheel locks and the cargo tray and whatnot. So this one I think did get the... Yeah, it's got the cargo tray. It's got rubber mats as well, so the other mats are laying in here for the client if they want it. Also want to make sure that underneath the floor, everything that's supposed to be there is there. So let's pull that open real quick. Yeah, we got a jack and a spare tire on this one. Okay, so really not much to do back here other than have a quick look. We're going to check the back seats here, make sure it's all clean. Yep, everything looks good in there as well. Of course, I've already kind of gone over to make sure everything's clean, guys. So, but mainly what I want to show you in this video is how we prepare the features, all the electronic stuff. So let's get to that. All right, so we'll go ahead and fire it up. And basically what I do is I kind of go over the car in a way similar to how I do it with the client when they pick it up. So I start on the left and kind of work my way to the right. So first off, I increase the display brightness, so I want to put the illumination on 100%, so all of the lights in the vehicle are at their very brightest. It's just the way most people want it, so I want to do that. Also want to make sure that the lane keep assist is turned on, which it is, and we're going to turn the headlights on to the full on position. Now, the reason we do that and we don't put it on auto is because with the auto setting, during the day you won't have tail lights on in the back. You'll only have lights on in the front, and that can be dangerous if it's snowing or foggy or raining heavily. Even during the daytime, those taillights won't be on. So if you've ever driven down the road and you've seen a guy in a near whiteout condition with no taillights, it's because it's not dark enough for those lights to come on when it's in auto, and they're just relying on the automatic system. So I always like to put it on, headlights on all the time. Now the cool thing with Hyundais is that the vehicle will actually shut off all the lights anyway when you turn the car off, so you don't have to worry about it running the battery down or anything like that. All right, so the next thing over would be this section of stuff right here. Now, there is a mode button, which is customizable, so I'm going to go ahead and press that, and that should bring up the initial setting on the mode switch. So I'm going to go ahead and enable all of the different possible sources of music. And while I'm in here, I'm going to change the custom button, which is this one right here, to phone projection, so that when they press that, it opens up Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on what it is that they have. So that's set up now. The hang up button here is actually a hang up button. A lot of our new cars is a star button here, which is customizable. So I would adjust that to reject phone calls as well. All right, moving on to the right-hand side. So we've got a few things going on right here. So this is the lane follow assist. I can't enable or disable that now because that's a temporary system. When you enable it, you shut the car off, turn it back on, it's disabled again. So basically, if you want to use it, you have to press that button. But I can go through this little center screen here with these buttons and kind of configure everything in there. So I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these buttons first here to cycle through the different menus. Now, I made the mistake of actually resetting everything already before I started the video, but I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to stop at the very top, start at the very top of the list here, and then we've got the fuel economy, average liters per 100 kilometers. I'm going to reset that by holding the OK button, which again I've already done. The OK button, by the way, is just this button. Drop it down one, we can reset this one real quick, and it puts it all down to zeros. Reset this one, puts it all down to zero. So that's the drive info. It's like your current drive info, and then you've also got the trip info. And then you got your digital speedometer. So we want to make sure that that's in kilometers, not miles. Of course, we're in Canada. And then here we can't really change anything. So we're going to bump over to the next screen with this button here. And there's really nothing to reset in here. So we're going to leave all this. Jump over to the user settings. And in driver assistance, we want to make sure that the warning timing is on normal. We want to make sure that the volume is on medium, which it is. Forward attention warning. Want to make sure that both the leading vehicle departure alert and the inattentive driving alert system is on. So leading vehicle is when a car in front of you takes off from a stoplight and you don't move. It'll give you a little chime to remind you can go. Inattentive driving warning basically monitors your input to the steering wheel, gas, brake, etc., how often it has to correct you, and will warn you if it thinks you're getting tired. Forward safety, want to make sure that's on active assist, of course. Lane safety, want to make sure that the lane keep assist is turned on. And then blind spot safety, want to make sure safe exit assist is turned on. And it's also an active assist. So if you start to steer into traffic on your left or right on a two-lane, it'll actually pull you back into your own lane. Not using the lane keep assist, but actually using the blind spot monitoring system and the opposite side of the vehicle's brakes kind of tug you back over. And then, of course, we want to make sure rear cross traffic safety is turned on as well. So that's the alarm that you get when you're backing out of a parking space and it picks up pedestrians or cars. Now, under lights, we have illumination, which we've already put to 100%. The one-touch turn signal, I want to make sure that's on 5 flashes. So that is when you tap the stalk, it'll actually flash 5 times real quick and then stop on its own. It's fantastic for lane changes and exiting roundabouts. Headlight delay, want to keep that on, and high beam assist, we want to keep that on as well. Now, one quick note about the high beam assist, unfortunately it does not work. You can see it says auto there. It does not work if you're not on auto here, so that's a bit of a downside. But that is turned on, so if they do want to use auto and they're good at remembering to turn the lights on in inclement weather, then that'll work. So we want to make sure the 2-press unlock and the smart trunk are both enabled. I'll show you the smart trunk in a bit here because I do want to test it out and make sure it's functional. And then we'll go down to sound. Want to make sure the welcome sound's enabled. Inconvenience, oil change reminder. We can reset that there. Well, it's a brand new car. Shouldn't have to reset it, but we'll reset it anyway. And then, of course, we want to, well, set the interval. So in Canada, it is currently 8,000 kilometers or 6 months. I like to put this on 8 months because you can stretch the time a little bit, but the mileage, not so much. There we go. And then the theme selection. I like to choose this theme here. It looks cool. And then under other, fuel economy reset. I don't like it resetting the fuel economy automatically. I'd rather have the customer be able to see their ongoing history of fuel consumption. So we turn that system off. Temperature unit, want to make sure it's on Celsius, which it is. Tire pressure unit's already on PSI. And that's pretty much it in there. Okay, so all of that's set now. And then I do want to put it on the digital speedometer. Right, that's pretty much it for that little screen. So we're going to move over to the center console here. Starting down here, really not much in it, to change. The drive mode, I'm going to go ahead and put the vehicle into smart mode. So you can see on the screen there, we've got normal, sport, and smart. Normal's normal, sport just gives you a bit more kick, tightens up the steering wheel. Smart is you're good for fuel economy, that sort of thing. So we're going to leave it on that. This button just enables the backup camera, so really not much anything to change in there. There is a couple of options in here, but we want to keep this all standard. Now, guys, there's not this much glare in the screen. It's just because the little protective film is on there still. So as you can see, if I peel that away, much less glare. See that? We'll leave that on for the client. You do have a adjustment here for the camera. You can actually look down straight over the bumper or behind you, but we'll leave that on behind you. Climate control, Really nothing to change here as well. You know, obviously set this up dependent on weather. You can put recirculate on. Now, one thing that this car does, which is kind of cool, is it'll automatically recirculate when you use the windshield washer. So I want to make sure that that's set up to do that as well. All right, having a look at the infotainment screen. Again, I apologize for the glare, but I don't want to take that film off completely. So we're going to start with the home screen here. Nothing really to change here necessarily. I am going to go into the radio though, so I can hit the radio part of the screen there, or just hit radio up here. I'm going to turn the radio down here so it doesn't make a bunch of noise. There we go. I do want to enable HD radio, and I want to get rid of these 3 presets because they're kind of useless here. They don't do anything. And what I want to do is I want to find a preset that does work. So I know that 89.5 works here, and I'm going to switch over to AM and enable 730 because that's pretty popular here in BC as well. And of course, keeping HD radio turned on, but I do want to switch it back over to FM. There we go. All right, so that's pretty much it for the radio. Pretty simple. And let's go into all menus, see if I'm forgetting anything. So Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both by default are enabled. I don't need to enable those or anything like that. I'm going to go into Setup, go into Sound, tune the sound. I'm going to add bass because that's one thing this car could use, a little extra bass. Driving guidance, we want to enable drive safe priority, so that lowers all the volumes when driving. Safety system sounds a warning. So if it's like a blind spot monitor comes on or whatever, it actually lower the audio volume to help you concentrate a little better. Does the same thing when you're parking, keeping in reverse and whatnot. System volumes, just leave this default. You'll notice actually it has speed dependent volume and startup volume limit. Make sure those are checked, but by default they should be. So radio noise control, want to put that on maximum because that reduces the amount of background static noise that you hear when you're listening to the radio. It's cool. Then we're going to go into device connections and make sure that there's actually nothing in there. That's good for the customer. This one actually has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We've already been in the button settings, so we're going to leave that. Under General, we want to go into the date and time and make sure that it's actually accurate, which it is. Everything looks good. It's on GPS time. Daylight savings time is currently enabled. And language and all that's good, so we can leave that. Wi-Fi, just make sure that that's on. That's all. And then under Vehicle, there's our recirculate, activate upon washer use, which it's currently set to. Excellent. So I can leave that. And, oh, did I miss anything? No, I didn't. Okay. And then, I've already been in there. So that is pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else left to do in the car. At this point, it's just a matter of going over the car with the customer and going over a checklist, which I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Last thing we're going to do is show off Smart Trunk. So this is Nolan. He's going to help me out. He's got the key with him. He's not going to press any buttons or anything like that. He's just going to stand there patiently. Make sure the key is within about 2 feet of the trunk. So that's assuming your key is in your pocket or whatnot. And there it goes. Smart Trunk is active. So that is now working perfectly. Thanks, Nolan. All right. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and get the checklist pre-filled. I'll show you what that looks like. So this checklist basically helps me remember exactly what to go over with the client. You can see we've got the pre-delivery inspection here. So this is kind of the quality control check that I would do before the customer even gets here, which I've now done. And then customer familiarization is all the stuff that I'm going to show the customer. And once all of this is done, I'll sign off on it, he'll sign off on it, manager sign off it. That way, everyone is in agreement that everything is done and everything is understandable. So we're going to make sure that that's all filled out before the customer goes. He'll get a copy. Of course, we'll get a copy as well. A copy will go in the file. So yeah, that's basically Hyundai's way of making sure their customers are properly taken care of. And at the same time, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's also our way of making sure that when we've done the job correctly, the customer may or may not agree in the future, but we can prove it with this. So that protects our interest as well as the customer's interest. That's why we all get a copy. So thankfully, that sort of thing doesn't happen very often. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we prep for delivery. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, by all means, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and comment below if you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions that you'd like to see a salesperson do something different. I'm more than happy to take your suggestions and run with them. All right, thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful day.